Liora Astralis, The Quest to Find the Lost Keeper. The moment Liora spoke her wish into the celestial ocean, she felt something shift. It was as if the echoes themselves had heard her, had been waiting for her to ask. Aurelith, Vesperus, and the others stood by her side, watching as the currents of the realm of echoes began to swirl. Aurelith's golden eyes narrowed. The echoes are reacting to your call. Vesperus crossed their arms. And here I thought this was just another one of her wild ideas. Liora smirked. Oh, it is one of my wild ideas. And with that she leapt forward straight into the unknown. The journey was unlike anything they had ever experienced. Layer by layer, they dove through echoes so ancient, even Aurelith and Vesperus had forgotten them. They ran through golden forests where the leaves hummed, whispering secrets of travelers who had once passed through. They soared through skies where the clouds sang, shifting into shapes that hinted at a figure none of them could quite place. In one echo, they found footprints too fresh to belong to a memory. In another, they heard laughter just out of reach, just beyond the next turn. But no one was there. They moved faster. Liora's heart pounded with excitement. They were close, closer than anyone had ever been. And then they broke through. Silence. The moment they entered, they knew this echo. They knew it was as if time had stilled. The sky was soft violet, speckled with floating silver lanterns. The air smelled like stardust and honey. Beneath their feet was not stone, nor grass, nor water, but something else entirely. A soft, shifting surface that pulsed beneath them, like the gentle breathing of the echo itself. Aurelith frowned. This is unfamiliar. Vesperus glanced around. How is that possible? We've traveled through nearly everything. Liora took a deep breath, feeling the weight of something profound. Because this place was not meant to be found. They moved forward carefully, past glowing waterfalls, past trees that whispered forgotten names. And then, at the heart of it all, they found him. A boy. Sitting beneath a massive ancient tree, lazily eating a bright glowing fruit. His silver blue hair caught the golden light around him, and his violet eyes regarded them with mild curiosity. Liora stopped in her tracks. You have got to be kidding me. The boy tilted his head. I don't think I am. Vesperus blinked. Wait, you're the lost keeper? The boy sighed dramatically. Is that what we're calling it now? He took another bite of his fruit. I prefer someone enjoying his snack in peace. Liora was stunned. After everything, after all the echoes they had traveled through, after every hint and whisper of someone lost to time, this boy didn't look lost at all. She took a cautious step forward. "You're not trapped?" He laughed. "Trapped? No." He took another bite. "But I suppose you could say I forgot to go back." Aurelith raised a brow. "For how long?" The boy grinned. "I honestly don't remember." Vesperus groaned. "Oh, that is just perfect. Just perfect." Liora narrowed her eyes. "So, you really are a keeper?" The boy smirked. "I was, once." He tossed his fruit core aside, and it dissolved into a swirl of light. "But after a while I realized something. Why leave when you can stay in the stories forever?" Liora's heart skipped. "You mean you've just been living in the echoes?" He stretched lazily. Something like that." Vesperus crossed his arms. "And you've never wondered what happened to the rest of the universe?" The boy shrugged. "Why would I? Everything I could ever want is here." Liora felt a chill. He hadn't been trapped. He hadn't been lost. He had chosen to stay, and in doing so, he had been forgotten. Leora's friends shifted uncomfortably, waiting for her to speak. She finally did. "So, what now?" The boy raised a brow. "That's up to you, isn't it?" He leaned forward, a spark of amusement in his violet eyes. "You came all this way looking for me. So, tell me, traveler, do you think I should leave?" The question hung in the air. Liora bit her lip. What was the right answer? And more importantly, what would she do if he said no? Liora crossed her arms and gave the boy a sharp look. "You've been in here how long exactly?" The boy smirked. "Long enough to forget when I started." Aurelith raised a brow. "And your name?" The boy popped another glowing fruit into his mouth, chewing thoughtfully before flashing a grin. "Haven't needed one in a while. But I suppose Calum will do." Vesperus tilted their head. "Calum? Yeah, feels familiar." Calum tossed the fruit core into the air, and instead of falling, it drifted upward, dissolving into stardust. "Not that names mean much around here." Liora stepped closer, eyes scanning the strange realm around them. The colors shifted and swirled, as if the echo itself were listening and reacting. "So, what is this place?" Calum stretched lazily, reclining against the massive tree. "Now that's a good question." He gestured at their surroundings. "It's an echo, obviously. But it's not like the others, is it?" He was not wrong. The air felt thicker, almost sentient. The ground was like woven light, shifting beneath them, but somehow solid. The sky had layers upon layers of colors, stars that moved, and clouds that whispered words they couldn't quite hear. It was alive. Aurelith ran a hand over the bark of the great tree. "It is ancient." Vesperus crouched, touching the strange pulsing ground. "And yet, it's more awake than any echo I have ever seen." Liora looked at Calum. "And you never left?" Calum shrugged. "Why would I? Everything I need is here. Food, Warmth, stars, stories. He grinned. And I sleep in the sky. Liora blinked. Excuse me? He gestured upward. Ever tried sleeping on a cloud? They're much comfier than they look. Vesperus let out an incredulous laugh. You sleep on floating echo clouds? Calum spread his arms. Luxury, my friends, luxury. Calum gave a mock bow. Liora shook her head. You're ridiculous. Charming, actually. She rolled her eyes but could not fight her smile. So, what makes this echo so special? Why stay here? Calum's expression softened. He looked around. Because it's more than just a memory. They followed his gaze, taking in the world around them more carefully. And then Liora felt it. It was not just an echo. It was warm. It was safe. It was alive. Aurelith's eyes widened. This place, it's not just remembering something, it's feeling it. Calum nodded. This echo isn't bound to time or space or even memory the ways the others are. It doesn't just replay a story, it holds on to it. He tilted his head. I guess in a way, it's a home. Vesperus ran a hand through their silver hair. No wonder you never wanted to leave. Liora took a slow breath, closing her eyes. And suddenly, she felt it too. Not just warmth, not just wonder, but love. Her eyes snapped open. This echo remembers love. Calum stiffened just slightly. His playful smirk flickered just for a moment. Then quietly, almost too softly to hear, he whispered, love. And then the echo reacted. Colors swirled, lights sparked. The very ground beneath them hummed with an emotion so deep it almost overwhelmed them. Aurelith inhaled sharply. It's responding to him. Vesperus's golden eyes flickered to Calum. Because he's part of it now. Calum was frozen. Liora watched him carefully. Calum, when was the last time you thought about love? Calum exhaled, running a hand through his silver blue hair. Probably a very, very long time ago. The echo breathed around them, its colors softening, shifting, as if it too had just remembered something lost. Liora's heart ached. He hadn't just stayed in the echo. He had forgotten everything else. Vesperus clapped their hands together, breaking the moment. Well, this is lovely and existential, but we did come here for a reason. Calum raised an eyebrow. And that reason was? Aurelith crossed his arms. To find you, obviously. Calum smirked. Well, congratulations, you have found me. Now what? The question honestly hung in the air, and for the first time, none of them had an answer. Liora was the first to speak. Calum, how much of this echo have you actually explored? Calum blinked. Most of it, I think. Vesperus narrowed their eyes. You think? Calum grinned. Look, there's a lot to see, and I had snacks. Priorities. Aurelith sighed. Unbelievable. Liora shook her head. So you're saying there's something in this echo that you never looked into? Calum stretched completely unfazed. Sure, there's a little hidden thingy somewhere around here, but I never bothered. Leora stared. You never bothered? Caleb grinned. I was comfy. Vesperus groaned. You are infuriating. Caleb smirked. And yet, here you are, in my echo. Aurelith pinched the bridge of his nose. Just show us. Caleb laughed, but finally stood up, gesturing for them to follow. Fine, fine. You're all so eager for answers. Liora shook her head as she walked beside him. You really don't care about this mystery? And Caleb shrugged. What can I say? I had everything I needed. Liora glanced at the shifting sky, at the way the colors moved like they were watching, and in that moment she understood. Caleb hadn't avoided the mystery. He had avoided change, because if he ever solved it, he might have to leave. And maybe, just maybe, that scared him. The echo shimmered, waiting. Caleb stopped before a massive glowing door covered in symbols none of them recognized. He tilted his head. Huh, it's different than I remember. Liora smirked. That's because you never got close enough to look. Caleb gave her a sideways glance. You're enjoying this, aren't you? She grinned. Maybe a little. Vesperus cracked their knuckles. Well, then, let's see what your forgotten mystery has in store for us, okay? The door hummed, the echo held its breath, and then it opened. The echo stretched before them, an endless expanse of shimmering light and drifting memories. It was ancient, perhaps older than the celestial ocean itself. Caleb stood at the threshold, hands in his pockets, his usual smirk absent, gone. Liora placed a hand on his shoulder. Are you ready? Caleb let out a slow breath. No idea if I'm ready. Vesperus clapped him on the back, making him stumble. Good. That is the best way to start. Aurelith sighed. If we wait for him to actually be ready, we'll be standing here for eternity. Caleb shot him a grin. Aw, Aurelith, you do care. Aurelith groaned. I'm regretting this already. Liora laughed and stepped forward, guiding them into the forgotten echo. And the moment they entered, it spoke. Ah, finally. The voice was rich, ancient, and undeniably cheeky. It rumbled through the air, warm and knowing, as if the echo itself had been waiting far too long for this moment. I was starting to think I'd be stuck with just this snack-devouring menace over here forever. Liora burst out laughing. Oh, I definitely like this one. Vesperus smirked. Finally, an echo with taste. Caleb huffed. Ate two, Vesperus. The echo shimmered, stars swirling in amusement. Oh, don't be so dramatic, dear keeper. I have been waiting for you to remember after all. Caleb stiffened. Keeper? Leora's heart warmed. You were always one of us. The echo pulsed, its light wrapping around Caleb like a warm embrace. You forgot your purpose, but you never forgot me. Caleb stared at the shifting lights around them, memories flickering in his silver blue eyes. I stayed because it felt right. The echo hummed. Because you were meant to. But not alone. And suddenly, the echo unveiled its story. Scenes blossomed around them, a world of laughter and community, of friends and family woven together by shared stories. It was love in its purest form, not romantic, not fleeting, but the kind of love that binds souls together across time and space. It was the echoes themselves, alive, yearning, waiting. Calum swallowed hard. This is what I was meant to keep? Liora smiled. And now it's time to share it. The echo brightened, its energy wrapping around them in delight. Yes, yes, finally. Honestly, I would have left ages ago, but someone, and the echo pointed its glowing presence at Calum, someone kept feeding me fruit and ignoring the big glowing door. Calum huffed. I liked my fruit. Aurelith shook his head. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Vespera smirked. We are going to have to deal with him forever now, aren't we? Liora grinned. Absolutely. Calum crossed his arms. You say that like it's a bad thing. Vesperis and Dorelith exchanged a look. Then, simultaneously, they groaned. The echo laughed, a sound like galaxies colliding in joy. Come now, my dear keepers, let's return me to where I belong. Together, they guided the echo back, weaving through the layers of the celestial ocean, past stories untold and memories rediscovered. And when they reached the sanctum of echoes, the entire realm came alive. The other echoes glowed, their colors shimmering in celebration. Light arced between them, welcoming their long-lost friend home. The forgotten echoes sighed in contentment. Ah, much better. Calum stood at the center of it all, his hands clenched at his sides, his heart pounding. For the first time in ages, he wasn't alone, and he never would be again. Aurelith sighed. So, he's one of us now. Vesperis rubbed their temples. Why do I feel like our lives are going to get significantly more exhausting? Calum grinned. Oh, come on. I'm a delight. Liora laughed. You're family now. And Calum blinked. The words hit something deep inside him. Family. He turned, looking at the glowing echoes, at the friends he had made, at the warmth that wrapped around him now like a home he had forgotten he was missing. And then, from behind them, a familiar voice hummed. Leora's ship had arrived. It opened its doors invitingly, soft lights flickering in greeting. Calum raised a brow. Oh, what is this? Liora smiled. A place to stay, someone to journey with. Calum tilted his head thoughtful, then he grinned. Well, I am out of fruit. Vesperis groaned. I take it back, just leave him here. Aurelith sighed. It's too late, he's ours now. And Calum smirked. Finally, some good decisions being made around here. Liora shook her head, laughing, as she gestured toward the ship. Come on, Calum. Let's see what's next. And together, they stepped forward into the unknown. Sweet dreams.